song. Nice little rhythm, though. Hey, y'all, welcome to the Common Good Podcast. Doug Padgett here, the guy who forgot again to load in our theme song.
So, that was a great substitute.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Hey, beautiful start to summer around here. You know, official start of summer here is Memorial Day. White pants, white shoes, sunny skies. It's all okay. It's all acceptable. How are things squirreled away somewhere outside Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Yeah, really great. We had quite a bit of rain, and it kind of cleared off, and now it is just beautiful. It's been a beautiful couple of days. I cleaned out the shed this weekend.
Good.
It's like an annual thing. It's it starts Memorial Day, starts clean. By Labor Day, you won't be able to find anything. By the time we get to the next Memorial Day, it's just like
it's just all shot.
Is there somebody living in this shed? What is happening here? So
what is it? What ends up in your shed? What's going on?
Oh well, we Vanessa has an Etsy store, so there's lots of boxes and packing material that ends up in there, along with the camping stuff that we
I see
use occasionally. There's an entire filing cabinet of my notes from college classes and my grandfather's sermon notes. Stuff like that. What do you have in your shed? And the lawnmower.
Now, I think by shed, you're sort of referring to your garage.
No. Oh goodness, no. You can. It's a freestanding shed. Yes, you can barely set foot in our garage.
Our shed currently we just have a small little shed, which is really there just for looks. It's like an old outhouse design, small little house shed that sits in our back corner and anchors the visual imagery. And it's like just some little kid chairs in there that Shelley uses for a kids' yoga camp and a couple of summer games, yard toss games, and a random, shepherd's hook. Crazy nonsense. But we are going to tackle our garage as well in this season. And our daughter has said she's going to have a garage sale, so that's got us perked up. Because we are not people who want to have a garage sale any longer. I think you may call it in the South a yard sale. People that don't have garages, but around here you typically somehow base it out of your garage and kind of in your driveway. But we're gonna have one of those. We're gonna sell
folks
stuff.
in the comment, Doug, are saying that I have an echo.
Okay, I'm glad they're saying that. I tried to make things better, and it made things worse. Thanks, y'all. Hang on one second, and I'm telling you that echo is about to go away. Okay. Look, we all know.
Should we test it now? Am I still echoing?
We've all known for years that Rob Ryerson is worth hearing twice. That's why he keeps his old class notes.
Yes.
Notes in case he wants to reread them. Reread them again. Hey, happy Memorial Day to everyone. Which is not a holiday you're supposed to say happy for, but we do it anyway. And, every veteran will tell you, this is not a day to thank me for my service. This is a day to remember those who are no longer alive that you can't thank. And I thought it was people who died in war or because of the war activity, not people who died after they got out of their service. I don't know. Do you know what is proper Memorial Day etiquette?
Well, I think probably honoring anyone who served and is no longer with us is the way to go.
Isn't that Veterans Day? I don't know.
Well, those are honoring those who have served who are still with us. I don't know. You can't go wrong with just thanking a veteran.
Apparently, I feel like I can. Yeah.
Err on the side of thanking a veteran.
Could screw that up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank the vets. Hey, vets, thanks.
Yeah. You know who we shouldn't thank, however? The Secretary of War and the President of the United States, who unnecessarily put our soldiers in harm's way.
Yes, in harm's way.
Yeah.
For nothing. Last night we were watching the local news. I don't know how it happened, but every once in a while we watch old Belinda Carlisle on the local NBC affiliate.
What? Belinda Carlisle?
No, Belinda Jensen. Belinda Jensen.
Oh,
not Belinda Carlisle.
Say,
I think
I'm
Belinda
like,
Carlisle's.
wow.
Is she a musician?
She was a singer from the 80s, yeah.
I wonder how she's doing. Should look her up. I bet she's making music. I bet, like Springsteen and the Rolling Stones and the Who. I think people are like, I'm pushing into my 80s, and I'm gonna keep doing my, I'm gonna be like a president. I'm gonna be 80 and keep doing my job. But they had this nice little story about Memorial Day, and then they included a profile of a 40-year-old woman who was just working in Kuwait in March, was killed by a drone attack from Iran. We'll get to this for absolutely less than nothing. Set America back, made America more vulnerable. All this nonsense with Trump. They've come to a negotiated settlement, and we'll talk about it, that is worse than the deal that Trump tore up, that Obama negotiated 11 years ago.
Well, Doug, this is the art of the deal.
It's the art of the deal. Can't do anything.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human?
And by the way, that is Megyn Kelly talking about Donald Trump. And you could play it on loop any given day. Any given day. He's just terrible at everything. But I did find out this weekend there's one thing he and I have in common, which
you didn't go to your son's wedding?
No, I also did not want to go to John Jr.'s wedding. Like, if you had said...
Did I step on your joke?
I
stepped on your joke. I'm sorry. I didn't. I thought you were going to go a different direction.
A joke that's that good can have people trample all over it. If I was told you could go to Bermuda, I think is where it was.
I think it was the Bahamas.
The Bahamas. If you, it's a podcast I'm listening to that's doing a trip to Bermuda. You could go to the Bahamas and go to a catered wedding, free of charge. You want to go? I mean, a lot of days I would say absolutely. Don't care who it is. Donald Jr. taking after his dad in just another series of marriages that is to people that his family apparently doesn't like enough for Don Sr. to say about the new daughter-in-law, I've known her for a long time. That's what he said about her.
Yes, right. And people have interpreted that I've known her a long time as him saying that about his son. That he didn't say that about his son. He said that about his son's new wife. Listen, Doug, I don't know what your parents' thoughts were about your lovely bride when
they adored her
when you got married. Yeah, my mom said to me at one point, she said, if you don't marry Vanessa, I will kill you. I mean, that, it was like, okay. So, there was a recognition that like, yeah, you're not going to do better than this.
I don't even want to play the clip.
It's far from, I've known her a long time.
I've known her a long
when
time.
you think about like, Doug, you have children-in-law, that are, that your children are married or have been married, like, and I don't, when someone would ask you to describe one of your kids' spouses,
Look,
I've known her a long time. It's
Three-
just
3 years
it's
ago.
the worst compliment
maybe
ever.
3 years ago right now. It could be my son and daughter-in-law's anniversary, Taylor and Christina. And if it is, happiest of birthdays or wedding celebrations. Anniversaries is what I'm trying to say. Happy of anniversaries. Donald Trump was asked in the Oval Office, and I don't even want to play the clip because he's just so intolerable. Are you going to your son's wedding in the Bahamas? His response was, they really want me to come. Did you watch it? They really want me to come.
Yes.
A lot of people really want me to go. But I'm kind of in a tough situation because basically I'm damned if I go because people are going to critique me for not working, and I'm damned if I don't go because people are going to say. He never
I think what he said was, they'll kill me if I go.
Yeah.
They'll kill me if I don't go.
Yeah.
Which is
and then he said the
probably-
press, I mean.
Yeah, but if I've had multiple assassination attempts on my life,
You're not.
I'm not sure I'm using the killing metaphor that freely.
Yeah. Unless you rigged.
All of them.
What he didn't say, and this is just to the fact that why can't he just be like a normal human being? Are you going to your son's wedding? I would love to be there. There's a lot going on right now. I think it's important that I stay back here. Because when I'm negotiating a dangerous capitulation in the loss of the war that we are in with Iran, I should probably do that from the White House.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a man who, while launching a war, did it from Mar-a-Lago, which is not far from the Bahamas, and then went golfing. What I didn't say when Taylor and Chris got married was, they really want me there. Because I know enough that I, as the father of the groom, am not the point.
You lift right out. You lift right. Father of the groom. Is there a less important person at a wedding than the father of the groom?
And I was the officiant.
Oh.
And I still wasn't the point.
Doug, have you heard
this man is so juvenile.
Have you heard the theory that the real reason why he did not go is because if you have been convicted of rape, you are not allowed to enter the Bahamas?
No. No.
Like, he
That
didn't go.
Some
he
other
didn't
nation
go-
might go and arrest him and fly
Yeah,
him away in a private black helicopter.
The theory is that he didn't go not because he was, so busy, giving the store away to Iran, but because he legally was prohibited from going.
Couldn't get in.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
so
Well, I
funny.
don't think he was convicted of rape. I think he was civilly found guilty of slandering the person who he
And the judge said legally he
sexually
was
assaulted.
guilty of rape.
Yes. That the judgment could be based on the behavior, but
Yeah.
I mean, law is specific and complicated. What is not specific and complicated is pardoning January 6 participants and then paying them. The pardon and pay to the insurrectionist, not complicated. This moron wants to do both things. It's simply just another week in the most failed presidency. Well, do you want to get right into it? Do you want to talk a little bit about the Iran deal before we talk about other stuff? Because this is, and
Yeah,
also to the
do it.
United States government, hey, if we could sign the Iran deal or kind of get its news cycle through on Memorial Day weekend, when news coverage is quite limited, and we could move on to, I don't know, like Infrastructure Week in early June. They still haven't done Infrastructure Week.
Yeah, we're waiting on his health care plan too, aren't we?
What has happened with that? I honestly lost track.
Yeah, they have
negotiations with healthcare, but
they have launched. Yeah, they have launched TrumpRx.gov.
Okay,
which
that's just
is
prescriptions.
Yes, yeah, that's what it is. It's prescriptions. And it's not even that many. Last time I looked at it, there was maybe 18.
18 prescriptions on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I just want to go through a couple of things here.
Yeah.
On the Iran deal. The proposed Iran deal. By the way, this Iran ceasefire is not even complete. This is just the deal that they are trying to, put together, if at all possible. All right, how does it compare to the 2015 deal that was called? I had the title for it up here. The JCPOA, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action that the Obama administration had negotiated after years of negotiation in 2015. Donald Trump referred to it as the worst deal in history, and we're going to tear it up. Then he launched military conflict with massive loss of lives, U.S. soldiers, school children, innocents in Iran, military people in Iran, people in militaries around the world that Iran had fired back on. And they put together what Trump and Hegseth and JD were calling maximum pressure. And it produced something worse than the 2015 deal. Here's why I say it puts America at peril. Because Donald Trump has shown himself to be incapable of even negotiating a deal that already existed. He is so bad that he couldn't even take the deal he had when he was in office the first time and then launched maximum pressure military war, and he got a worse deal. There is nothing that makes America more vulnerable than looking vulnerable. And who was made stronger? Iran and China. Oman and Saudi Arabia. Not only the fact that Donald Trump wrote on Truth Social, I just got off of a call with a bunch of other nations and they told me what to do. That's what he said. They gave us a plan. He's taking his orders from other nations.
Yeah.
I wish this was hyperbole. I really wish this was like, no, that is not what he said. Because I check that stuff because I see posts like this all the time.
Yes.
It is what he's... Okay, cash for compliance. Just a couple real quick things. In 2015, the Obama deal that Trump condemned allowed Iran access to roughly $50 billion, up to $150 billion in frozen assets, including this delivery of $400 million in cash as a part of their sanctions relief program. And they had those airplanes and they delivered the money in dollars. And if you've seen the show Patriot, you know it's very hard to move an item from point A to point B, especially if it's cash. The Trump plan.
Oh, man, I watched the France Gun episode last night.
Oh.
It's just the greatest.
That's in season 2?
The greatest.
Is that in season? Okay. Folks, if you have not watched a Netflix show
No, it's an Amazon Prime show.
Thank you. Amazon Prime show from 2012, could it have been?
Yeah. Yeah.
Called Patriot, or 2020. I don't know. Called Patriot. It is subtle humor, dark humor, you might call it. It's just a treasure of television and humor. There's 2 seasons. It's so great. Just please watch it. And if you don't get it at first, that's okay. Stick with it. It's slow moving and just lovely.
Oh, by the time you get to the France gun episode, you just
pure.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Just unbelievable. And just a little highlight for folks. This is a intelligence officer working outside of the normal systems on behalf of the United States who writes and sings folk songs about his missions.
To process his pain. And they're trying to move money.
It performs them at like open mic nights.
Yes. and he's trying to move, the U.S. is trying to move money to Iran to support a candidate who will not extend their nuclear program. So it's just just happens to be right on point.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
It's insane. Okay,
the other tab open on my browser right now is Watch Patriot Season 2 Prime Video. Because
the 2026 plan, 11 years later, to get, having gotten rid of the worst deal ever, agreed to an initial 20-day Islamabad framework. Trump launches a war on behalf of Israel and then is told by Islamabad what the deal needs to be and agrees to it. Trump had to negotiate a phased release of $25 billion in frozen assets using the exact same mechanism that released the funds in 2015. It's incredible. He's such a moron. He negotiates the same deal. And if he had just left things where they were, we wouldn't have had to unfreeze $25 billion more for Iran to use however they want. If you want to put pressure on Iran, I want to make some comments later about why do we think it's our business to tell Iran what they should do. But we can get to that in a minute. Trump said in launching the 2026 campaign, this was the big thing, 0 tolerance on any nuclear development. They cannot have nuclear power and nuclear bomb. 2015, the Obama administration recognized that you, quote, couldn't bomb the knowledge of nuclear technology out of Iran. That's not how it works. So it allowed them to continue uranium enrichment, capping it at a 3.67% level, which is really hard to negotiate and really important for people that know things about uranium enrichment. And then Hegseth and Lindsey Graham and Bibi Netanyahu all get together and say, let's take out Iran so it can't have a nuclear capacity at all. And the 2026 plan, having demanded absolute, total dismantling of all nuclear infrastructure, instead negotiated an enrichment camp and a relocation model. Iran flatly refused the 0 enrichment policy, and the administration is now setting a cap on enrichment of uranium and to move the stockpiles of what currently exists to China, giving China enriched uranium. Then they talked about phased sanction relief. The Obama plan had a step-by-step plan for International Atomic Energy Agency to verify Iran's compliance, and if Iran complied, then current sanctions would be released over time. Proof positive of where they were. Trump got rid of all that. So since his first term, there have been no International Atomic Energy Agency verifying compliance agents in Iran. So they've been running free for all these years.
We're flying blind. We're flying blind, hoping that the weapons of mass destruction are there.
And he hoped, and then Trump put together an outline that utilizes a renewable 60-day window that if Iran maintains peace, stops attacking on maritime trade, and halts hostilities, the U.S. will offer gradual relief of sanctions. The previous sanctions were based on Iran proving that it was not enriching uranium. The new plan to release sanctions is that you'll stop firing upon maritime vehicles, especially in the Strait of Hormuz. He negotiated from you have to stop enriching uranium to stop maritime war activities. And you'll get the same sanctions. This is a great deal for Iran. It solidifies the relationship between Iran and China. It releases assets. And now we don't have to have, for Iran's point of view, they don't have to have International Atomic Agency verifiers noodling around. And the biggest one that they've been talking about recently, and this was a big thing for JD and a big thing for Hegseth, was you have to dismantle and destruct the axis of resistance. This was the way that Iran was using its proxy power in the region. This was a big deal for them. This all has to be dismantled. And therefore, toppling the government, the people of Iran can take over, and Iran will no longer have its power in the region, right? So after saying it was about nuclear weapons, then it shifted to this. Well, the 2015 Obama deal, it did leave Hezbollah and the Houthis and the Iraqi militia in place because it couldn't focus on dismantling that if it was worried about Iran's nuclear weapon. Trump called this a fatal flaw. You can't have their proxy, because Trump doesn't know anything. He's just being fed this information by the neocons. Well, the Trump 2026 plan, after demanding a total disarmament and destruction of the axis of resistance, the ceasefire settles for a, quote, temporary pause in hostilities on all fronts. For instance, the deal relies on Hezbollah pausing rocket fire and the Iraqi militia integrating into the state army rather than eliminating it and its influence. Don't get rid of Hezbollah. Don't get rid of the Iraqi militia. Make them more official.
Temporarily halt hostilities.
Not get rid of them, not dismantle them, not destroy them. Rob, it's simply stunning. On not a single point of all the moving targets that Trump has suggested and that his spokespeople have suggested. Not one of them did they accomplish, and every one of them is worse than the deal that previously existed that he tore up, that then put Iran on a different track, and now they're in even a more powerful place. And the Strait of Hormuz is now going to be negotiated. That's something that Iran has established it has control of. It was international waters before the start of this. Now Iran can charge a fee or a tax to any nation it wants. Every single thing is worse.
And this came at what cost? It came at the cost of over 3,400 Iranian lives. with at least 2,000 of them being civilians.
Thousands
Just
dead.
under 1,500 Lebanese people from Lebanon. 13 U.S. military service members. 25 people killed in Israel. Over 100 people killed in Iraq and the UAE, and Qatar, and the West Bank. Thousands of human lives. And
that's just
billions.
deaths.
And yes, that's just deaths. And billions of dollars.
Billions of U.S. Treasury dollars. Blood and treasure. To lose a war and capitulate. I think Trump should have to fly to Tehran and sign a deal of surrender. Because this guy has taken everything that America has, which is its ability to influence the world, and has negotiated it away at every turn. This is top of the list this week.
Yep. And you know what, Doug?
It's just incredible.
There was a lot of speculation that this war was launched to distract from the release of the Epstein files, because there was so much attention given to them. And now we are, couple of months into this? I mean, it started, late February, and now we're into the end of May.
Yeah.
We're a few months into this.
Started in the winter and we're at summer.
Do you know what we're not talking about anymore?
No, okay.
The fact that Donald Trump is, best buddies with a pedophile.
In the Epstein files.
In the Epstein files. Yeah.
But you know what we are talking about? That somehow this foolish man had a coalition that supported him of non-war, non-interventionist supporters and the regime change toward Iran crowd, the Lindsey Grahams, the Pete Hegseths, the Mark Levins, this crowd, and the people like Tulsi Gabbard and all the Joe Rogans, all the we don't want any wars, that whole crowd. Do you know who's now not with Trump? The anti-war crowd. Tulsi Gabbard left her job, she said, because of a terrible diagnosis that her husband has. But she was silenced before this. That crowd, that MAGA crowd, turned on Trump 2.5 months ago. Do you know who was ripping Trump over the weekend? All the neocons that wanted regime change in Iran, because this deal doesn't give them that. He's so bad. The coalition he had on war, he broke it on both sides. And on Epstein, he broke that too.
Yeah.
The only thing he has going for him is the fact that the chicken bird flu has subsided. And 300 million chickens are laying eggs.
And the rat flu, turned out to not destroy us all. Turned out to not be a pandemic again. Let me tell you, as I was cleaning out the shed, we've had some critters get into the shed. And Vanessa was like, "Hey, you really need to wear a mask if you're going in there." And I had to go. Oh, she's, she works in a hospital. She's terrified of the hantavirus. And so.
But because it exists in rat
Rat poop.
Fecal matter? Like you can
Yeah.
smell. That's how you get it. You'd smell it. It
I
come
don't.
through your
I
nose.
don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I went and dug out a mask that I hadn't worn since 2021.
Was it the cloth one?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was in the junk drawer.
Yeah, we've got a drawer in a closet. I digging around in there the other day. I was like, oh, forgot about this Black Lives Matter mask.
Yep.
That now, I mean, look, you wear a Black Lives Matter mask around now, and people think you're ICE agents working for Black Lives Matter. Because the only people now that wear masks in public are people at our co-op, our natural foods co-op, and ICE agents, medical workers when they're at work.
Sure.
When they are at work, and I'm all for masks.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, goodness.
Okay. All right. I just, thanks everybody. There are days where, what is that famous saying that I don't know, came from Jefferson or somebody, like, when he was asked, what did you accomplish today? And he says, a republic, if you can keep it, or a democracy, if you can keep it. What
Benjamin
is that?
Franklin. Yeah, that's it.
Ben Franklin.
What have you given us?
That never happened. Can we all just agree that, of course, that didn't happen? No reporters out there with a little bang on saying, hey there,
Mr. Franklin,
what did you give us today? I mean, it's just
a republic,
so
if you can keep it.
Okay. That has sort of shifted, and I know for a lot of people, at different points in their life, it's shifted to this notion. A republic, if you want it. Do you even want it? And frankly, there were a lot of people in America on election day who chose to vote for the MAGA candidates, who I think basically said, give or take if we want it. What we really want is lower gas prices or cheaper eggs, or want Biden out, or we want a strong man, or whatever they wanted. But like the republic or the democracy or the country or the rule of law, or I don't know, all the whimsical things that we all think about. A lot of people, I don't think they cared. I mean, we saw it in polling. Like, do you care about democracy is under attack? And there were two questions. One was, do you care? Lots of people said not really compared to other things. And do you think it's at risk if Trump and other MAGA people are elected? And they said both, I don't really care, and no, I don't think it's under attack. Look at what he's done and is doing, and you tell me if you think that a crypto presidency and a guy trading stocks based on the details he knows and the announcements he is about to make.
Yep.
It would be called insider trading unless it's your company, and then you know that you're going to buy back your stock because you're about to release a great product, so you're going to do a big stock buyback and you're going to gain the value. That's what Trump is doing with private companies based because he thinks he owns all of it.
Yeah,
he thinks he owns everything except his own son's allegiance.
But if he cared about that, he might go to their weddings. Doug, I had the chance. I'm in the midst of the You Deserve a Town Hall tour.
Yes, how's it going?
Arkansas's 3rd Congressional District. And we have had 6 of 9 town halls in the month of May. We have 3 more this week. We have one in Van Buren tonight, and then Fayetteville tomorrow, and we finish off in Huntsville on Thursday. Had a really interesting town hall in Berryville, Arkansas. And we had, much of the conversation was with folks that are very concerned about the future of democracy.
Okay.
Terrified about.
Good. Nice to hear.
And then we moved into a conversation about how to win elections. And I shared with this group, the unsettling news, the bad news, the discouraging news, that saving democracy is not a winning issue.
Yeah.
if you want to run to win an election,
Yeah.
Saving democracy isn't what you run on. And I use the analogy. I talked about how back in the last election here in Arkansas, polling showed that candidates polling showed that the number one issue to voters here in Arkansas in the last election was inflation. And most of the Democratic candidates running for office ran against a education bill that got passed called the LEARNS Act. And listen, the LEARNS Act is terrible, needs to be repealed. It is awful. It's been terrible for public education. When people tell us what they vote on, we need to campaign on those issues. When people tell us this is what we care most about, it's not. I don't think, if we want to win elections, I don't think what we need to do is say, okay, yeah, but you should care about this. Yeah, but you should. I don't know. I kind of think we ought to talk about the things on the campaign trail that, we have not talked about in this. All of this, the impact of this unnecessary and fruitless war in Iran, is that all of us as Americans are paying much more in gas prices.
Yeah.
And everything else. There has been a huge cost to this war in human lives. There's been a huge cost to this war in the United States standing around the world. There's been a huge cost this war in terms of military investment and the price tag associated with that. And every single American is paying for this war out of their wallet, out of their checking account, out of their, with their ATM card. Because gas is more expensive, groceries are more expensive, everything is more expensive. And it directly ties to this war. Because what this war did is it caused there to be uncertainty in the oil market. It caused there to be less oil available in the world market. When you bring the supply down and the demand doesn't change, the prices go up. And that's exactly what Donald Trump has caused. And this guy has made it worse for everyone. Everyone.
Now, Rob, would you agree that what candidates need to do is an and approach as opposed to an or approach? So there are many things that motivate voters.
Yes.
And they tend to rank them when they're asked to rank them.
Mm-hmm.
What it seemed to me happened with Democrats in 2024.
Right? It's so hard to keep track anymore, isn't it?
In 2020, I know it is. In 2022, was that there were issues of how the economy was going, and Democrats wouldn't talk about it. There were issues of how immigration and the border were going, and Democrats wouldn't talk about it. And that is different than voters only want to hear about inflation or economics and the border. I think what got Democrats was that they just didn't talk about those things virtually at all. And there becomes something in Democratic campaigns where they think voters only want to hear about something. Which thing is it going to be? As opposed to, no, people actually, and here's the other thing that Democrats face, and all politicians, but Democrats just can't get away from themselves on this particular issue. They're convinced that people want to know what you're going to do about it. Because people say, what are you going to do about it? So they think that the question is, that they need to answer is, what are you going to do about it? But what are you going to do about it is actually code for, do you care about it? Because if you don't have a plan, then you're really not caring about it. You're using platitudes and niceties. And
you know, Doug, you know what I have found that's been a very interesting response to the "what are you going to do about it" question is to give very specific answers to that. Like, listen, I'm running for Congress, and so let me tell you what I will do as your congressman about this. Boom, boom, boom. And there's so many of the issues that I've like just focused in on 3 things that I can say, like very not talking in platitudes, not talking in generalities, very specific things. And the response to that has been really interesting because I think people are like, "Oh, I never thought of that." And it demonstrates that I care enough that I've like done some research.
That you've thought about it. Because when you say something, and a lot of candidates do this, oh, that's something really important, and you can go to my website and see my my white papers, my positions.
And I have started to even criticize other Democrats. You know what I say is when asked about immigration and this phrase that gets used, well, we need a pathway to citizenship. And what I've begun saying is anyone that says a pathway to citizenship is a politician giving political speech, political talk without a real plan. I'm just so tired of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, can we cut through some of this?
This is what politicians and all of us who do, like, look, the reason we talk about the stuff we talk about here is because the issue of democracy is very motivating to people who will watch stuff like this. It's not very motivating to people who are thinking about switching their political voting habits.
Yes.
They're a
And this is
differently
exactly,
and a different caring voter. So you have to, but what Democrats need to do, and I hope they all start doing it, and we try to encourage Democrats to do this, is to find a way to answer every topic that comes up with, I too think that is important.
Yes.
And because I'm running for Congress and because I think this is important, here's where I am, or here's what I need to learn, or here are the people we need to listen to. Because look, I mean, interpersonal relationships are not always translatable to public engagement. But they're not never translatable to public engagement. And if you were in a conversation, disagreement, argument, a therapy session with a friend or a family member or a spouse, and the person says to you, here's something that kind of is troubling to me that you do. If your response to that is not, I see how much that matters to you, and I'm going to let it matter that much to me. If it doesn't include that, it doesn't matter what your plan is.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll stop doing that. I don't think it, in fact, if you convey it matters to me, that this matters to you, you get a lot of leeway on what the specific plan of response is going to be. It is shocking to me how much people don't recognize this. Let me give you an example from a server at a restaurant. We had a great experience in Florida eating at a restaurant, my friend John and I. It was so good, we went back the next day. And I got the same thing because I liked it so much the day before. I just wanted a repeat of this great food. And when it came out, it wasn't the way it was yesterday.
Oh.
And I could tell what it was. There was some missing elements in it. Talked to the server. She ends up bringing over this like supervisor sort of person. I said, look, I'm really not trying to, but this was so great yesterday. This is not what I, and he said, no, it has that in there. Do you want me to make you another one? Do you want us to make another one?
Oh.
His reaction was declarative about what he saw as the truth, and then put it on me to decide what I want him to do. And he could not care any less. As a person in the restaurant, when I say, I was here yesterday and bought this meal and I liked it so much, I came back today. I've shown my level of investment in that food. His level of care about the food that his kitchen produced was way lower than mine, and he turned it into a, what do you want me to do about it? And that mismatch, where if he had said, I'm so glad you came back in, I'm so glad you love that, let me see what I can do to figure, like if he just cared the slightest bit, instead of, that is what we make, what do you want me to do about it? And I swear, so many politicians, especially ones that I want to win, respond to people saying gas prices are high, eggs are high, with, well, what do you want me to do about it? Instead of, it really matters to me that prices are high. Because as we've talked about endlessly, there's not a lot that politicians can do about the price of gas or the price of eggs. That's not how the economy works. But what they can do is say, it matters to me because it matters to you. That's what's called empathy. And this is why so many people in polling and in personal conversations say, Democrats don't get me because they don't care. And look, Biden and Kamala Harris gave off an idea in 2024 that trickled down to other Democrats that we don't think inflation is a big deal.
Ugh.
There's not a lot we can do about it. We don't think it's a big deal. The answer to everybody when they come to you with something they're upset about is try to get your level of caring to slightly resemble their interest in the same topic. So you must do that as a candidate, I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, you try to, absolutely. And that, and that's what, I just think it's really important to, I'm not a big fan of blaming voters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of blaming voters for how they vote. I think that if you are a candidate for office and you can't make the case for why someone should vote for you, that's on you, not on them. And I think it's the same thing of like with what people care about. People obviously are going to care about different things.
Mm-hmm.
But this sense of like everybody has to care about the same thing, or everybody needs to care about what I care about at an equal level.
Yes.
It's just, it's borderline political fundamentalism, and it's not helpful. And listen, we've got a mutual friend who says we have a moral responsibility to win elections.
Mm-hmm.
And what I have told folks is, listen, I don't have a moral responsibility to win an argument. I have a moral responsibility to win an election. And that means like connecting with people where they're at, and not talking down to them, not telling them they need to be different, but inviting them into something better, which is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, when you're a parent or an uncle or a neighborhood good friend to a sixth grader, and they have a school band concert playing the clarinet, and you go and you smile and you congratulate them, you don't say to yourself, I don't really like clarinets and band music. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
You're not there for the music. You're there for the kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is just like human. Can you
Yes.
just be a normal person? Like,
Yeah, that's right. Sick of this shit.
and say, look, this clearly matters to all of you. Like, that is what constituency work
Yeah.
should mean. And frankly, that is what special interest groups exist for. And if you think special interest groups are a problem, I understand why you think it's a problem, because certain politicians keep telling you that special interest groups are a problem. But special interest groups are every group that brings more than one person together to inform or to compel politicians to do a thing. Doesn't matter what the issue is. If the issue is clean water or oil extraction, they're special interest groups. The reason they exist is because they want to help candidates care about something they might not know about. And man, if candidates or all of us as people, when a topic comes up, to be able to say, I actually haven't thought a lot about that. But that seems like something that I need to care about. Like, honestly, people think politicians don't care. Rob, I'm wondering if you found this in your town halls. Even people will come to a town hall, don't actually know a lot about politics. They don't know how it works. They don't know a lot of details of policy. They know what's motivated them to get there. They're like, a concert goer that goes to a concert because they heard that one song from the band, but the other hour and 20 minutes worth of music they are unfamiliar with. People don't really know all the stuff, and they don't know who does what, and they don't know who votes for them, and they just know if they feel like people like them and care about them or not. Do you think that's true? Are you finding that at the town halls?
Yes. Yeah. Though, I also have found that there is, the kind of people that would go on a Tuesday night in May to a town hall have a level of engagement that that is on the rare side of things.
Surpasses. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, these aren't people who are completely disengaged. These are folks that are like, no, I'm curious about this. I'm interested in this. I would need to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the fact that the economy and failing businesses and closing things, and the people saying all the time, because I was in a conversation with some folks the other day, they're kind of the libertarians that don't like Trump and trying to work on something together. And you know how I am about those folks. Libertarians. Adorable. Did you see that post I put up with the flag that somebody took a photo of out on a little Minneapolis lake? In Minneapolis, so. The rebel loon, the loon is kind of a Minnesota state bird. And people created this rebel loon that is the symbol of the resistance against the federal incursion and brutal murdering federal agents that came into Minneapolis. So the rebel loon is that. And it's this flag that says, "Don't tread on me." And it's the loon eating the snake from the "Don't tread on me" snake. It is brilliant. Just brilliant. Like, we'll show you, all you cosplay, don't tread on me folks. But anyway, so I was in a conversation with some folks who are kind of, libertarian types. And they were talking about, Democrats really have to go after that audience that Trump got, who really do feel like they're out of the system and they feel left out and forgotten. Okay, that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking that in 1976, Bruce Springsteen was touring the country, Born to Run, singing about the plight of America.
Mm.
How people are left out, how you can get your job back at the factory, or maybe the factory's closing down. There's nobody on your side. Democrats rallied around that motif in 1976. In 2026, Bruce Springsteen is touring the country, singing about that same set of conditions, trying to convince Democrats to care about that issue, because in the intervening 50 years, Democrats have not cared about that crowd in the voters' minds, and Republicans have. But the condition is unchanged.
Mm-hmm.
You can sing those songs from 1972 to 1982, describing a set of conditions that are right now.
Yep.
Because people don't actually expect that all of those conditions are going to be solved. They want to know which politicians are going to try to do something about it. Now, that's cynical in some ways and a little sad that, to borrow a phrase from Jesus, the poor you will always have with you. But what are you going to do about it when they're there? And then break perfume and pour it on his feet, which the solution is not the point.
Yeah.
So yes, the system does not work for everybody as well, and the industrialized manufacturing system has been failing for 50 of its 100-year legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And Democrats act like it doesn't matter. They don't believe it, that it doesn't matter. They just act like they believe it doesn't matter. Think that's true?
Yeah, I do. Yep. And I think there is, as Alex said in the chat, that Democrats, take things for granted, checks and balances, other things. And I think that's true as well. Pretty critical of, Democrats have had opportunities to solve some of these problems,
Mm-hmm.
and for whatever reason have chosen not to.
Mm-hmm.
Republicans told us what they were going to do about abortion, and Democrats could have codified Roe v. Wade, and they didn't do it. Democrats could have done something about immigration, simplifying the system, creating amnesty, relieving the bottlenecks at the border that exists, and they didn't do it.
Yep.
They could have done something about the Voting Rights Act, and they didn't do it. They could have done something about the checks and balances, as Alex talks about, and they didn't do it. So, at some point we've got to ask the question of, like, why are we not taking action on some of these things? Why are we not pushing for it? I think there's a level of frustration about the phrase gets used a lot, like a do nothing Congress, and what we saw Trump do with, this last congressional session is, pass the one big beautiful bill, knowing that pretty much had one shot to get anything passed. And then it was going to, fall apart from there. I think, Democrats need to be much more, and listen, during Biden's administration, there was a number of significant policy wins.
Yes.
But there was also a lot of stuff left on the table. And going back to the Obama administration, a lot of things left on the table that, that could have made a significant difference in people's lives. and kept us from being in the position we're in now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is, there's a complex history as to why.
Yeah.
Like when you look at why the John Lewis Voting Rights Act or the Freedom to Vote Act, which would have been updates to the 1965 Civil Rights Voting Act, didn't go into place. And some of it has to do with people thinking that it dishonors that act. Like it never was explained to people that something about the 1965 Voting Rights Act was discreetly tied to a set of conditions from the 1950s. And its rationale was built on that. And that a Supreme Court could declare that those conditions have changed, therefore that law no longer solves for that set of conditions and can be limited, which is what happened. But people knew that, and they didn't talk about it.
Right.
They didn't inform. People knew that Roe versus Wade as the abortion law was a legal case. That's why it
Not
is
a law.
Roe versus Wade. It wasn't law. And I heard it, you grew up with these people saying it, and I heard it for a long time, that we can't have something as important as the moral issue of abortion being decided by a court case that was of an argument that was wrongly argued.
Yep.
Blah, 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 we all thought. We do this a lot around here. There's 3 branches of government. They're equal. And they each have a role. And then the other 2 keep any one in balance. Congress is supposed to pass laws, the House specifically related to spending, the House and Senate passing laws and how it's going to be funded. The presidency is a part of the executive branch, which is supposed to do executive functions. And the judicial branch is supposed to make sure that there's a legal system that supports those laws that are passed and making sure the laws that are passed fit into a legal framework. You don't ask, and this is where Obama got into trouble, because he was very much like, I'm not going to pass executive orders for something that Congress should do. And then, Trump comes in, he's just like, no, I'm just going to make it up and just say ridiculous things in Truth Social and try to make it law.
Try to stop me.
So you've got a spectrum there. What the next Democratic president needs to do is use executive orders for immediate response and then move legislation around those executive orders. And that needs to be the operating plan for Congress. Congress should have not a 100-day plan, Rob, when you're sworn into office, not a 100-day plan, but a layout like public planning lays out the redevelopment of a town square over 20 years and says, okay, we're going to have to put this kind of infrastructure underground, this kind of infrastructure overground. We're going to have to change zoning rules because we want to put a fountain in the middle and we want to redirect traffic. And now we've got to think about that's what you do when you're planning for systemic changes in the physical world. And in the Democratic plan, it needs to be, here are the laws that need to be put in place to stop a rogue executive. Because you know what I'm afraid of? Some Democratic president is going to get in and is going to be like, ooh, look at all the power I've got. Because that power of a unitary executive, which is what's driving all this nonsense, did a video about that 5 friggin' years ago. By the way, you know what doesn't change the world? Well-crafted arguments put into a video and sent out on the internet. Doesn't change the world. So it's just, I don't know. I mean, this gets back to this basic civics question.
Yeah.
And when we dumb down people's civic participation basically to the best and only thing you need to do is vote, we are selling our birthright for a bowl of porridge, to borrow a Jewish metaphor.
Yep.
Hey, what's the best questions that you get at the town halls? What do people, when you hear it, what do you think? Like, that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah. Well,
Questions or comments.
yeah. I got asked a question. It's the second time I've been asked it. The first time I got asked it was at a forum with 100 high school students.
Oh,
And then then it was asked, which was several months ago, and then it was asked again at this town hall, and it was, when you get to Congress, if you could pick any committee to be on, what committee or committees would you want to be on?
wow.
That's a great question. That's a
Yeah.
fun one. Yeah.
What'd you say?
Well, I said first of all, I would really like to be on the infrastructure committee, because Northwest Arkansas in particular is growing so quickly that their infrastructure has not kept up with the growth, and that's an area of impact that we could have here. So transportation is a really important thing. And then the other one I'd really like to be on, I'd really like to be on the ethics committee. I think I could bring a quality perspective to an anti-corruption approach to Congress.
All right. So tell me this, Rob.
Yeah.
I hear about these committees a lot. I even watch them on C-SPAN. I mean, not like Brandon Pfeiffer, but I watch them on C-SPAN. It's unclear to me how they translate into the rest of the House of Representatives or the Senate to therefore become the laws that need to be passed.
Yeah.
It
Well, there's a
feels
couple of
like
different
the committee system is sort of one thing,
Well,
and then the
yeah.
architects
Well,
are creating laws.
There's two things that happen in committees, and one, gets the camera coverage on C-SPAN and the other doesn't. Part of the work of the committee is hammering out laws. And laws are first.
Yeah.
Are first proposed in committees. They've got to go through a committee process where people get input on them that are on the committee, and then eventually they go to the full House. That's kind of the boring behind the scenes stuff. What we often see on C-SPAN is the other work of committees, which is providing oversight. And the way they demonstrate oversight is by bringing witnesses to the committee to testify about the agency that they run, the area of expertise that they have. So Congress has this oversight function, which is essentially like, it's the job performance review kind of thing. It's the annual review. It's the hey, you got to sit down and answer some tough questions about what's taken place on your watch. And that is, and there's very little that connects that to actual laws being passed. But that is part of the oversight function of the House of Representatives and Congress in general. Yeah. So it's kind of two different things. It's Congress makes laws, but then also functions with an oversight component, particularly of the executive branch. And so you get cabinet secretaries having to sit down and answer questions. And a lot of that, like everything else, has turned into it's turned into political theater that is less less functional and more, I'm trying to go viral.
Yeah. Not quite the parliamentary system that we see from England. I mean, all the people that are like, we need a parliamentary system. I'm like, have you looked around to see how those things go? I mean, wow. That can you imagine in a country the size of the United States and all the political that we would have a parliamentary system where it's small factions joined together to create majorities, it would just be without a party system that we currently have. It would be absolutely bonkers. I mean, it just.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks to all the people in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially.
Apparently, you met at Ajax on.
Yeah, it's Johnny who was a part of, came to the Siloam Springs
Great
town hall and said he watches the podcast. So really great.
Hey, Johnny. And you met somebody else that watched the podcast too, right? Do you remember that name?
That's him. I texted you about him.
Yeah, but he's been commenting in here before. I thought there was somebody else at another one that listened just listened to the podcast. Wasn't that you? Said that?
No, not me.
Some high school kid or something? Some unusual. No?
No.
Maybe I dreamed it. All right.
Dreaming about our podcast. Yeah. That is a scary thing.
Even worse, dreaming about things people said about the podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think I dreamed it. All right, hey y'all, we will lots of big announcements coming here in the Vote Common Good world in short order. So hang tight.
Yep. And I would encourage everybody to check out these channels on Thursday. Going to be running an interview I did with Richard Ojeda, who is running for Congress in North Carolina.
Okay, and you're confident that's Thursday and not Wednesday?
I am. I was.
Until someone said, "Are you sure about that?" Final answer.
I'm 95% sure it is Thursday.
Okay. I just asked because I thought I saw when setting this one up that
it was. I thought I scheduled it for Thursday.
Could be May 28th. Is that Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. When this thing came up, I thought it said one day until.
Feeling all gaslit here. Whew.
Yeah, but are you sure?
Oh.
Gaslit. That's great. I think gaslighting is a longer process than someone saying, "Are you sure?" I think it's someone slowly turning the lights.
Oh, now you're gaslighting me about the gaslighting.
No, I'm correcting you. I feel really microaggression about you saying that I'm gaslighting you. That this microaggression. I mean, you wouldn't see it as an aggression, but there's a little bit of one. And if you pile the
it's like this little cut I have on the inside of my finger.
Yes, I've been picking at one today.
So annoying. Just the
worst.
Yeah, I probably got rat poop in there, and I'm gonna die of the hantavirus.
Do you put a finger mask on?
I wore gloves. Yeah.
Okay. Gloves or a finger mask.
And speaking of fingers, folks,
that's so
you
absurd.
gotta.
Let's start referring to gloves as finger masks.
Speaking of fingers, you gotta watch Patriot, and you gotta get to the French gun episode. Oh,
it's perfect. It's a perfect. Whatever it is, 43 minutes.
I don't know which one of these fingers is mine.
So good. Okay. Well, hang in there, everybody. This national nightmare is almost over.
Hey, every day we are a day closer.
Yeah, and look, I don't know that every terrible thing Trump can do he did in the first year and a half, but a lot. He did a lot of it.
Yeah.
And once he's facing down a Congress that is going to impeach him,
that includes me.
They're going to open hearings. Just.
Yep.
I mean, hey, we didn't even talk about the fact that I think there were some cabinet changes. Obviously,
yeah, Tulsi Gabbard's out.
But that cabinet position, like the Secretary of domestic intelligence or whatever. I think it was one created out of Homeland Security or something.
Director of National Intelligence.
Yeah, Director of National Intelligence. Just, does anybody care about that position? I mean, I know Tulsi Gabbard was in it, and if you follow Politico World, you follow it because she was a Democrat congresswoman who ran for the Democratic nomination as president and now is working for a MAGA candidate, because the crossover between the Tulsi Gabbard world of Democrats and the MAGA is nearly, it's the same group. Just going different directions. She's not the only one in that group as a Democrat either. That's what Rob was waiting for. So it's not perplexing when people do that. But anyway, she's now out. They're bringing in somebody worse because this is Donald Trump's one rule.
That's the MO.
One rule of appointments is nobody can be better. Nobody can be better at their job than I am at mine, and he's terrible at his. Therefore, everybody has to be bad at their jobs. That's it. Hey, what's happened with the senator who took over for Kristi Noem? I've heard not a peep. About that.
Yeah. No. There was something today.
We were almost done.
I know. It was something. There was something I saw today that was terrible. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to talk about it next time. Yeah. I mean, he's terrible.
Okay.
They're all terrible.
There's a phrase, uniquely terrible. These people are not uniquely terrible. They're just like typically terrible, classically terrible.
Oh, it is. It is a complete federal defunding of sanctuary cities, including the like making it very, very difficult to fly into sanctuary cities.
Oh, okay.
Customs and TSA and all of that. Like,
I see.
Trying to put pressure on cities that want to show some humanity to other human beings.
Yeah, you know how well that's going to work? Not at all. Have at it. What's that guy's name?
Mark Wayne Mullen.
Mr. Mullen, Secretary Mullen, have your way at that. See how that goes. See how.
Yeah, because what we need in the United States is for airline travel to be more complicated and difficult. Please do that.
Yeah. Have your way at trying to move funding around so that the largest cities in America don't work.
Yeah.
It's just these people. I mean, it's just it's one bad idea poorly executed after another, and the damage it causes is extraordinary.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
On to a day of fighting.